Welcome everyone. Welcome 11th graders. So today's topic is about managing stress for success, strengthening academic focus, emotional well-being, and future planning. To start off, my name is Mrs. Camerancy, and I'm one of the school counselors here at Sharanda High School. Today we'll be discussing stress and how to manage stress related to academics, social emotional well-being, and future planning as you all prepare for senior year and your next steps after you graduate. Throughout this lesson, please feel free to ask any questions. So, our learning objectives for this topic will be students will be able to explain how time management, organization, and study habits influence stress levels and affect future planning. Another objective is students will practice self-monitoring, check in on their stress levels before and after using a time management strategy. And some of our standards will be time management, organization, and study skills. And the other standard is determine central ideas and summarize informational texts, which we will get into later in this lesson. So our agenda for today is one, we'll do a pre-assessment and get you all kind of figuring out about stress and how it relates to the topic of what we're talking about today. We're going to define stress, and then we're going to have a whole lesson on stress. There'll be some videos, some just teachings, things like that. And then there'll be some group work, and then a post-assessment. So here goes the pre-assessment. So I'm going to read these aloud, and I want you to please answer them to the best of your ability. They are multiple choice, okay? So, first question, how can poor time management increase a student's stress? A, it helps students finish work early. B, it leads to rushing and last-minute pressure. C, it makes assignments feel easier. And D, it creates more free time. So take a look at the handout with the same questions, and you can make your answer choice. I'll give you a moment to do that. Looks like everyone's finishing up with that. Okay, which organizational habit is most likely to reduce stress? A, keeping materials scattered in different places. B, forgetting to write down due dates. C, using a planner or digital calendar. Or D, waiting to organize until the end of the quarter. Okay, again, I'm going to give everyone a few minutes to do that. A few moments to do it, and then we will go over these two questions. Okay, looks like everyone's finishing up with that. So again, going back, how can poor time management increase a student's stress? A, it helps students finish work early. B, it leads to rushing and last-minute pressure. C, it makes assignments feel easier. Or D, it creates more free time. By show of hands, what are we feeling like? Hands are whiteboards. Everyone can use their whiteboard to put down their answers as well. Okay, looks like B is kind of the consensus. So yes, it is B. It leads to rushing and last-minute pressure. Okay, our next question with this one was, which organizational habit is most likely to reduce stress? A, keeping materials scattered in different places. B, forgetting to write down due dates. C, using a planner or digital calendar. Or D, waiting to organize until the end of the quarter. So on your whiteboards, go ahead and write down which answer you chose. Okay, I'm seeing a little mixed answers. But from my people who chose C, you are correct. Using a planner or digital calendar. Okay, got two more pre-assessment questions and then we'll move on. Okay, so our first question for this one would be, why do weak study habits often lead to higher stress levels? A, they make learning more exciting. B, they help students avoid difficult work. C, they cause students to feel unprepared for tests and assignments. Or D, they guarantee better grades. So on the paper handout, go ahead and circle your answer to the best of your ability. Again, I'll be collecting these because the post assessment is on the back. So don't look, but go ahead and mark your answers because I will be collecting these just for my purposes. Okay. Looks like everyone's ready for the next question. How does being organized help lower stress? A, it makes assignments disappear. B, it helps students know what to do and when to do it. C, it allows students to avoid responsibilities. Or D, it guarantees perfect test scores. Okay, like I said, mark down your answer. Okay, looks like everyone's finishing up on that. Okay, we're going to go back to that first question. So why do weak study habits often lead to higher stress levels? A, they make learning more exciting. B, they help students avoid difficult work. C, they cause students to feel unprepared for tests and assignments. Or D, they guarantee better grades. Go ahead and use the whiteboards again. And then when you're ready, you can show the answer to me. Okay, I think we're kind of consistent around the room. Okay, yep, it is C. They cause students to feel unprepared for tests and assignments. Okay, our last pre-assessment question. I appreciate everyone so far participating. How does being organized help lower stress? Again, A, it makes assignments disappear. B, it helps students know what to do and when to do it. C, it allows students to avoid responsibilities. Or D, it guarantees perfect test scores. Okay, go ahead, mark down the answer on the whiteboard. And you can go ahead and show me whenever you're ready. Okay. Again, I think we're seeing a little bit of mixed. But for my students who chose B, you are correct. Help students know what to do and when to do it. So those are your pre-assessment, okay? So if you didn't do too well, that's okay. The post-assessment will have questions related to the pre-assessment. The questions may look a little different, but they're definitely related. So, if you didn't do well, hopefully you'll do well in the post-assessment after we go through, this lesson, okay? And the post-assessment is on the back of the pre-assessment, okay? So don't look yet. Okay, so we're going to talk about what is stress. So I have this little short video, and while we watch the short video, you guys are going to go ahead and jot down on the scratch paper or sticky notes provided. You can pick either one, it really doesn't matter, whatever you prefer, and then we'll discuss it. Okay, so we'll give you some time to watch the video. Okay. Before we move on to the types of stress, anything jump out at anybody during the video? Okay. Yeah. Stress can be related to a lot of different things, and that's kind of what we're about to go into. Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Yep. Okay. Stress can affect the body in many different ways. Definitely. Yeah, definitely. And we're going to kind of go into that too later with the next video, okay? But moving on, after, what is stress, there's different types of stress. So there's many different types, and one is related to academic stress. And I know you all could probably feel these in many ways. So these can include workload stress. So too many assignments, multiple tests at once, or longer readings. Performance stress, pressure to bring grades up, a fear of failing. And then there's learning difficulty stress. So struggling to learn the content in class or just being able to keep up in general. with the teacher, with the other peers, jotting down notes, whatever you kind of feel is the learning difficulty stress. So by show of hands, who feels like workload stress is a big one for them? Okay, a couple people. What about performance stress? Okay, not too many. And then what about learning difficulty stress? Okay, we got a lot of hands for that one. And so hopefully, maybe we can come up with some strategies, or you can come up with some strategies relating to that. Okay. And then emotions that may correspond to this area would be overwhelmed or frustrated. There are many types of stress, again, and one is related to social emotional stress. These can include fitting in with your peers, relationship conflicts. There's also family stress, so the expectations that your guardians, grandparents, parents, siblings, whoever may put on you. And then there's, responsibilities at home. And then kind of going into that is the life balance stress. So balancing school, work, activities, and then your personal downtime. So sports, friend groups, outside activities as well. So again, by showing hands, who identifies with peer stress? Okay. Anybody with family stress? Not as many. That's pretty good. And then life balance stress. Oh yeah, there's a lot for that one. I feel like we all can relate to that one. Okay. And some emotions with that is worry, disconnected, like from your peers or family, and then maybe irritable too. Along with social, emotional, and academic stress, there's also career related stress, which is a big part of why, we're doing this lesson. So future planning, which could be defined as uncertainty about like career paths, or if you're going to go the college route or trade route. And then there's preparation stress, so getting resumes together, your cover letters, applications, interviews, and setting those up. Kind of just getting organized in that way, so then, you do have those things. And then lastly, there's skill confidence stress. So worrying about not being good enough in a certain skill or major or minor or whatever field you want to go into. So as 11th graders, which one can you identify currently that you are dealing with as you prepare for senior year? And then either going like the career job or other routes, after school. Okay. Okay, I like the consensus going on. I kind of hear people shouting it out. Okay. Let's see. Moving on. So we do have this little short video about good and bad stress. Okay, we're going to let that play. Okay, and the video is wrapping up. So after we've watched that video, like what is one good stressor you have identified? Okay, going on a vacation. Again, this can be related to school. It could be related outside of school, things like that. Okay, new siblings coming into our lives. Yeah, that's kind of a good stress. You're adding a new family member. Okay, someone's got a new puppy. Trying to potty train. What about like good stress with school? Okay, winning a game, getting a good grade on a test. Okay. So what are some things we kind of identified on the negative side? Okay. Can be related to outside of school, inside school, whatever. Okay, again, family expectations, being a lot of pressure on you. Okay. You didn't study hard enough for a test, and now you're not sure if you're going to do well. Or you've taken the test and you're not sure how it went. Okay. Okay, I think everyone's got some good examples. I appreciate those. How can those affect, again, academic, social well being, or career goals? Can it be good and bad? Can it be bad and good? Okay, yep. Yep, it can be good or bad. It really just depends on how everything goes, right? Okay, moving on. So we're going to work on our first group activity. So we're going to divide you all into groups of 4. So there's about 20 of you in here. And we're going to create 5 groups of 4. So, and I want one spokesperson for each group. And that spokesperson, I want you to pick an article, the handout that's printed up at the table. There's one on the impact of stress on body function, and there's multiple like printed handouts. So if like one group wants the same one, you guys can do it. And then there's another handout on more of the researchy kind of stuff of academic stress in adolescence. So basically school based. So you kind of like your guys' grade level. Okay. So I want you guys to read those, and then you guys are going to create a short presentation, whether it be a little mini PowerPoint, a diagram, however you want to do it. So there's also sticky big paper that you guys can use on the wall if you want to like create like a diagram or anything like that, okay? And then I'll let you guys present those once you guys are finished. Okay. I want to thank everyone for participating in that and presenting on those. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to have a second group activity. So same groups. Okay, you guys seem to work really well. I want you to create a coping or an organization strategy to manage stress. And, I want you to present on those. And my challenge for you is to, once we're done with this whole lesson, I want you to take that organization skill or that coping strategy and I want you to use it. Okay? I want you to try it out and, report back probably by the end of the week. Okay? So I'm going to let you guys work on that. Again, same groups, and I'll let you present. Okay, great job, everybody. So I just want to go over some of the ones I came up with. So an organization tool that I thought would be helpful would be in a Google Excel spreadsheet. I'm all about the spreadsheets. So like this is more the college related and like career goals and things like that. So a Excel spreadsheet of potential colleges. So did I apply? Have I been accepted? What needs to be done? And however you want to organize it, basically like, do I need financial aid? Do I need loans? However you want to organize it. And then a coping strategy, I said deep breathing exercise or mindfulness meditation, like a guided video or a script that someone could read to you while you're meditating. Okay? But I love everyone's examples. And I loved everyone's presentation. I think everyone did a really good job, okay? So I want you to take those organization or coping skills, and I want you to try it for the week and see how it goes. And if it keeps working, that's awesome. Okay, so we got some post-assessment, everybody. So we're going to get out of those groups. We're going to go back to our seats, okay? And I want you to flip over the other side of the pre-assessment, and the post-assessment questions are on there, okay? So the first one is, how can strong study habits reduce academic stress? Okay, there's 3 questions. Okay, we're on the first one. So keep up, everybody. We're almost done. A, they make assignments disappear. B, they help students feel prepared for tests and deadlines. C, they allow students to skip homework. Or D, they guarantee perfect grades. Okay. Give everyone time. Okay, moving on. Which organizational skills best support emotional well-being? A, or ignoring responsibilities until someone reminds you. B, keeping materials in random places. C, tracking tasks so you feel more control, or D, comparing yourself to others. Okay. Last question. Why might poor organizations increase career-related stress? A, it helps students make decisions faster. B, it causes missed opportunities, deadlines, or confusion about future plans. C, it makes career planning easier. Or D, it guarantees students will choose the right career. Okay, finish up those. And I'm going to reveal the answers. So for the first question, it was B. Second question was C. And third question was B. Okay. You guys can put in those handouts and you can give them to me after, okay? So I want to thank everyone for participating in this lesson, and I hope it was definitely informative. So please see me after this for any further questions, and please feel free to drop by the counseling center for any other needs, okay? We're always there for you guys. And these were my references. I hope everyone enjoyed. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.